Hello and welcome to Fermo in Italy. It's round 3 of the 2012 FIM MX1 MX2 Motocross World Championship. My name is Paul Malin. You join us on Motors TV and MX Live TV for this, the first race of the day for the MX2 riders. Temperature getting a little bit warmer. It's been around 25, 26 degrees the last couple of days, but anyway, a little bit cooler this morning, although that temperature is gradually creeping up. Well, this week we are in the southeast of Italy for the third round of the 2012 World Championship season. That brings us just slightly inland from the Adriatic coast. Ancona is about 50 miles north of here, and in terms of the weather, it's actually pretty warm for the time of year, 25 degrees the past couple of days, although a little bit cooler today on race day. In terms of history, this Fermo venue is one of the old school circuits. First stage, the 500c Grand Prix back in 1976, won by Roger Di Costa on a factory Suzuki. And although it went, or had, I guess, underwent major surgery about 3 years ago, now looks considerably different to how it was about 36 years ago. In MX2, 3 riders are emerging as possible title contenders. Jeffrey Hurlings, Tommy Searle and Joel Roulants. And of course, Tommy Searle was a winner 1 week ago in Bulgaria. The opening round won by Jeffrey Hurlings. But the thorn in both their sides could be Joel Roulants this weekend. Overlooking the hillside here in Fermo is the 650-meter long circuit. 3 intermediate splits as always, from the finish line to I1, and then from there to I2, and then from there back to the finish line. A little bit cloudy, a little bit hazier today. However, it's probably just about perfect for racing. Good crowd packed in down the bottom end of the circuit. We're getting ready to go and speak with Amy Dargan, our girl on the grid, and she's got some riders with her from MX2. Be interesting to hear what they have to say. Let's go down there right now. Here's Amy.
The sun is still shining and I'm down on the MX2 start line for the first race. Joining me now is Joel. Joel, last weekend we saw you to take your first win ever in the World Championship. You must be feeling more confident.
Yeah, I'm really confident. The bike's really good. I feel good. But I'm just going to ride my own race today and don't think about last week. Just go forward and try to get a good start, and I go for top 7 or top 5. We'll see where I finish, but I'll just do my best.
Thank you. Well, best of luck. We're going to move down the start line now and have a word with Jeremy. Jeremy, you've been finishing just outside that top 3. Do you think you have that extra push this weekend to get out there?
Yeah, we see, you know, I feel good. Yesterday track was a little bit tricky, but today in the morning I felt good. And I'm just going to try, you know, like top 4, it's the minimum I do, but I'm going to try to do better, and I feel good. I just, yeah, I need to do it. That's it.
That first downhill drop, it looks really gnarly.
Yeah, you know, and it's a little bit slick, so we need to watch out the first laps, but it's going to dry because the sun is out. So perfect race conditions.
Absolutely, have a good race. And we're also going to go down to Alessandro Lupino. Alessandro's home race here in Italy. Alessandro, home crowd, you must be pretty excited, right?
Yeah, yesterday I make a good qualification. The track is really nice, I like it a lot, and it's difficult about last year. It's more tough, and I think if I make a good start, I can be in top 7, 8. So for me, it's a good job today. I hope also for the Italy public, it can be a nice race.
Thank you, Alessandro. We've just heard from him, and we're going to go now and see the rest of his team at Husqvarna Ritchie Racing. Ilario Ritchie is known for being one of the quieter guys in motocross, yet for the best part of 16 years he's been an integral part of the World Championship scene. His team's highest achievement came in 2005 when the late Andrew McFarlane pushed Tony Cairoli all the way to the MX2 Championship. His teammate Chico Chiodi also came third that year. Now, with the support of Husqvarna, Ritchie and his young team are aiming high once more. Ilario, after only 2 GPs, the team is already looking in a stronger championship position than last year.
Yeah, for sure. We did a lot of good work during the winter with Husqvarna guys, and we've worked really hard. The bike has improved, and that's the reason why we're in this position right now.
And how are the riders looking in the early part of the season?
Well, to be honest, the beginning of the season wasn't the best. Nick Triest had a crash in the Italian International, and we won't see him again until the French Grand Prix. Leclerc is improving race by race, and we hope that he too will get some good results. And Alessandro Lupino, he's having some good races, but from him I demand he must give some good results, because we know he's capable of doing this.
This year is the second year for me for the Husqvarna, and yeah, we are starting really good, because this year I win the Italian Championship MX2 class, so I was really happy. This winter we work a lot. We know last year was too many problems in the bike, but we work, and now we know where direction we can do, and the bikes is better and better every race, and I think we have to work still now, but it's not bad. I do a good race, and I'm happy with the bike. I feel good, and when you have fun in the bike, I think you can be like a really nice position.
Loic, it's your first time with the factory team. How are you finding it?
Yes, I come back in GP on the factory team. For the moment, it's good. I have made some good race in French Championship, and now I make the two first GP, and the first one is difficult because it's the same track, and the second I have some problems with some mistakes and some problems on the bike, but this week I think is a good week because the run was hard, and I hope make a great result.
Pierluigi, the 250 is already looking promising. What are some of the changes and improvements you've made?
The main issue in which we have been working is the engine. We are working on the cylinder head, on the camshaft, on the pistons, on the crank, everywhere in the engine, because we are pretty convinced that if we can have a better engine, we can do a better result probably in this so difficult class.
Martino, it's good to see Husqvarna back in the championship.
Oh, it's very important that Husqvarna is back in motocross. Motocross is a Formula 1 or off-road sport, so a brand like Husqvarna with 110 years of tradition must be here. So we came back last year, first year after many years out. Husqvarna, probably you know, that has like 82 world title in motocross, supermoto and enduro. But in motocross we want to be strong again. Last year was the first year coming back. We did some improvement on the bike, especially on the standard bike. And this year with Lupino is going much better than last year. We improved again the bike even for the production. And last weekend in Bulgaria we did the 6th. That was the best results ever in this 2 years of coming back in.
Per conto della Federazione Motociclistica Italiana, è pronto anche lui, naturalmente tutto ok. Maurizio Del Barba ha dato gli ultimi colpi di benne insieme ai suoi collaboratori. Lungo il tracciato per sistemare.
The FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship riders are down on the grid. They see Searle and Roulant, 100 and number 34. They're on the left-hand side as we look at them. They line up first and second as they qualified in the race. Jeffrey Hurlings is third. Jeremy Van Horbeek, Jake Nichols, Nick Charlier back from injury, Michael Lieb and Alessandro Lupino. In qualifying yesterday, Max Anstey didn't have a great time. Started 18th, got up to 16th and then fell. Had to come in for repairs. Only managed 31st. So Anstey is going to be coming from the far right side of the gate as we look at it, but it was a great ride for Jake Nichols, Tommy Searle, Joe Roulant. Hurlings also came from 7th. He anticipated the gate too early, caught it on the way down, but didn't actually get stuck in that gate, but it was enough to hamper him, and he went round the first turn around 15th position. But here we are for the main race, and there's Tommy Searle and Joel Roulant, both Kawasaki's up the inside, but where's the whole shot going to come from? The KTM, it looks like Hurlings, or maybe even Van Horbeek, as they go through the first turn. Or is it? Well, somebody there might be Dylan Ferrandis, actually, 22 with the whole shot. Over the line for the first time. Ferrandis it is who leads. One of the Kawasaki's around the outside there, possibly Roulant. So we've got Ferrandis and Hurlings there, 84. The red plate takes the championship, or the leader, takes the lead in the race here. Or does he? Round the outside, the orange KTM, Jeffrey Hurlings, Dylan Ferrandis on that black Kawasaki up the inside in second position. Then it's Jeremy Van Horbeek in third. Or Julian Lieber is actually fourth. He's been overtaken by Van Horbeek. So Lieber in fourth place. Then the 45 of Jake Nichols then is his teammate just behind Jordi Tixier. Well, not Jordi Tixier, the third member of the Red Bull KTM squad. Over the Inverstrade Bank tabletop, bottom end of the circuit. There's Nichols. Oh, it's Boutron there, number 17, just behind Jake Nichols. So we've got Hurlings leads. Ferrandis there, number 22, in second, going around the outside of the World Championship leader, who moves to the outside and fends off the flying young Frenchman, who's up and over the step-up, back up towards the middle part of the circuit. Then we've got third place. Here's Van Hoorbeek, 89 as 22. Dylan Ferrandis still challenging Jeffrey Hurlings for the lead on this opening lap. Oh, almost losing the front end there. Around the outside goes Van Hoorbeek. Van Hoorbeek moves into second position, number 89 on the second of those KTMs. Out to the left-hand side as we look at it. Now on the right, the far side of the picture on the black Kawasaki. Dylan Ferrandis gets his line cut off, though. Goes to fourth place. Loses out to Jose Boutron, who had a great qualifying race yesterday. Went out on the first turn. Was already up to 15th after 2 laps. Eventually came home in 16th position, did Jose Boutron. But coming towards the end of this first lap here, a lot of water gone down just to combat the drying conditions here. Over the line they go. Hurlings, fastest man of the race so far, of course. He is our race leader. He leads from Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Dylan Ferrandis there in third position, getting taken out, though, by Jose Boutron, our onboard camera, who now moves into third place on that Digger Racing KTM. So these harder conditions for our onboard camera. Jose Boutron certainly suiting his style of riding, as the battle up front between Hurlings and Van Hoorbeek continues here in the early stages of the race. Boutron is third then. That's him just, Ferrandis is third. So he did manage to fend off. No. Oh, look at that. Van Hoorbeek didn't get a good jump there. He got hung up on the gate as his rear wheel went over, but he recovered well. A couple of riders flying too far wide into that corner, but Tommy Searle at the end of this first lap. Where is Tommy Searle and Joel Roulance? Well, Roulance buried down in 11th place. And Tommy Searle is down in 25th on the opening lap, so not good for Tommy Searle. He'll be getting all of the signals from the pit crew to let him know that his closest rival in the championship, well, both of them are ahead of him. He'll know that anyway from where he is on track, but Jeffrey Hurlings will start to get the signals as well. But it's Hurlings who leads, Van Hoorbeek second. This is the battle for third place. And at the moment, it's number 17, Jose Boutron, our onboard camera, who has that third place. Just behind him is Dylan Ferrandis, just there. Number 22 on the Rockstar Energy Bud Racing Kawasaki. Look how choppy it is down there and slick. Bikes working overtime. Jake Nichols just behind on the Star & JM Racing KTM. Had a good qualifying yesterday. Gaining in confidence, getting some great starts this season is Jake Nichols, and he's going after Dylan Ferrandis, who finished second in the European 250 Championship last year. Tixier is in 6th place. That's him just coming over the crest of the hill. It's Harry Koulas now. So Harry Koulas has moved up into 6th place on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. A 1:59.851 for Jeffrey Hurlings, fastest lap of the race so far. I can only assume that Tommy Searle went down in the slippery conditions at the start of the moto. Tommy Searle last year, first and the second here. Lost out to Hurlings for the overall victory. Those two going 2-1, trading wins and second place finishes. Nichols is 5th, Koulas is 6th, Nick Larson is 7th, Joel Roulance is 8th, Charlie A 9th, Valentin Guyot is 10th, Michael Lieb is 11th, Alexander Tonkov is 12th, and Jordi Tixier 13th, so he's been down. 14th is Kevin Ford, Samuele Bernardini is in 15th position ahead of Samuel Zaney on the J-Tech. Oh, look at that manoeuvre there from Jake Nichols as he flies by Dylan Ferrandis on the downhill through those waves. So Nichols now moving up into 4th place, going after Jose Boutron. Tommy Searle now 19th, so making up a lot of time, 7 or 8 positions on that lap. He's inside the points. He's got 30 minutes plus 2 in which to do something about climbing as high up into the top 10 as possible. Nothing in it between him and the guys sort of in 10th place, around about sort of 6 or 7 seconds, something like that, as Dylan Ferrandis, number 22, almost losing the back end. That was one of the tricky parts of the circuit yesterday, and the more water they put down through that section, the more tricky it's going to become very, very rutty. But Jake Nichols on the Nastan GM Racing KTM from Ipswich. That's him there. The bike swinging around left to right beneath him on the number 45 machine. Currently occupying that 4th place position. Guy ahead of him, number 17, Jose Boutron. Further up the leaderboard as Jake Nichols loses the back end on takeoff. These guys closing in on Boutron, and look at that, Jake Nichols all over the rear wheel. Not a good drive for Boutron coming out of that final left-hander and up that final hill. Look at that, 3rd, 4th, 5th for those guys. Kevin Fors here, 9:22. Just got a bit of track banner. Good job it's not on the opposite side. Getting locked in the rear wheel, but Jeffrey Hurlings, another fastest lap of the race for him, 58.9, 2 seconds clear of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, his teammate, who will apply the pressure because, of course, there will be no team orders of any kind this early stage of the season. Van Hoorbeek will want to go for wins and Grand Prix victories as well. Boutron still 3rd. Nichols 4th, Ferrandis 5th, Kulas 6th, Larson 7, Roulance 8. Lead 9, Charlier 10, Tixier, Guyot, Tonkov, Fors, Searle now 15th place. And he's got right up to Tixier, who's 11th, right there just ahead of him. There is Tommy Searle. Number 100 moves aside, catches the rear wheel of, who was that? Kevin Fors, I think that was. So Tommy Searle having to work extremely hard, goes around the outside of Jordi Tixier. Just there is that, no, it's Guyot. Guyot ahead of him, 173, so he moves past one rider. Is that Tonkov just ahead of him? No. Might be actually, the Russian Tonkov. Number 66 on the Garibaldi Ester Honda. So picking off riders in the early stages of the race, Tommy Searle trying to rectify the mistake, whatever it was that he made, whether he got held up with somebody or just went down, maybe stalled the engine. Obviously we didn't see it, but Tommy Searle just at the head of this group of riders. There's Kevin Fors, 9:22. On the Kimi Ratek Yamaha, Mo Pocock is in. Pocock, obviously, whatever problems he's got, the Monster Energy Yamaha rider not happy. Van Hoorbeek, fastest man on track at the moment, 158.9, almost a full second quicker than Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, than Jeffrey Hurlings. He's got that gap down to just over a second. There you see at the top of the hill. This is the fight for first place. And Van Hoorbeek doubling his way through that city turn at the top of the hill and making light work of the waves through that sweeping left-hander. He crashed down there last year on a Kawasaki, remember, the opening lap of Moto number 2. Hard and slick, fresh water had gone down, lost the front end, and that cost him dearly. Didn't finish the sorry, not last year, the year before, 2 years ago that would have been for Van Hoorbeek. But these guys already 10 seconds clear of Jose Boutron. The Spaniard on the Digger Racing KTM should be coming into view any moment now, unless he's been caught and passed by Jake Nichols, of course. Oh, they're side by side. Nichols on the left-hand side, the right as we looked at it. Switches to the inside, goes down the right-hand side here. Number 45. Oh, almost contact through that right-hander. Jake Nichols pushing for a podium position. Doesn't want to follow Boutron, goes a little bit wider than he wanted to over the Monster Energy tabletop. Boutron, though, going for the same piece of track. Bit of a panic rev situation there for Jake Nichols as he tries to apply the pressure on Boutron, who gets no drive coming off that jump. He landed awkwardly. Nichols gets on the power on the Nastan GM Racing KTM and blasts by. And so too does Dylan Ferrandis. So losing 2 positions there was the number 17 of Jose Boutron. So it's a new order then as they come over the line this time round. 5 laps complete. Jeffrey Hurlings still only 1.5 seconds clear of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Jake Nichols is now 3rd, and he gets taken out there by Dylan Ferrandis. So Ferrandis on the charge, settling down in these slick conditions here at Fermo in Italy. So it's all changed again. Ferrandis there in the blue. on that book. Racing Kawasaki finds a way into third place, nudging aside Jake Nichols at turn 2. Nichols now trying to regroup, not getting it clean through there, losing time to the young Frenchman. But more importantly, they have put a little bit of a space between themselves and Boutron there, who's got Harry Koulas in 6th place on the Suzuki, breathing all down his neck at the top of that wave section. Joel Rouland's now into 7th, just 2 seconds further back of Harry Koulas. And then we've got Michael Lieb, Nikolai Larsen and Christophe Charlier back from injury on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Jordi Tixier on the Red Bull KTM is 11th. Tommy Searle is now in 12th place. So Searle really on the charge, not setting the lap times alight, but he's coming through traffic, remember, having to use different parts of the racetrack in order to find those lines on the track to find a way through. Here we are on board with Jose Boutron. Just been passed by Harry Koulas, that looks like, on the Rockstar Suzuki, but goes back up the inside. Does Jose Boutron on the Digger Racing KTM and puts the squeeze through that tight left-hander. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, meanwhile, fastest first 2 sectors compared to Jeffrey Hurlings. Hurlings setting the fastest lap last time around by about 0.6 of a second. But Dylan Ferrandis, what a great ride for him. Won 7 motos, took 3 overalls last year in the European MX2 Championship. Still lost it, though, by 3 points to Romain Febvre. Remember, he entered at Teufelstal as a wildcard rider. And just came up short on a jump. Fractured a wrist. Was able to ride the next round, so didn't lose too much time, but wasn't able to continue that win streak. And then he, of course, went back on the winning streak and managed to just close the title right back down to 3 points. We're getting ready to go down to pit lane and talk to KTM, and they've got 2 riders leading the way here, Jeffrey Hurlings and Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. They are 1.7 seconds apart, and the fastest lap is Hurlings.
Just in the pit lane with Chief Mechanic at Red Bull KTM. We're seeing a real battle between the teammates, Jeffrey and Jeremy, at the moment.
Yeah, they both had a really good start, and looks like now they have the battle between teammates, but they're both really fair riders, and the best guy will win.
Of course, it's no surprise to see Jeremy Van Hoorbeek there in 2nd position. More of a hardpack rider than a sand track rider, but has worked on his sand riding during the winter a little bit more. But Jeffrey Hurlings, probably more so, we're surprised to see there, based on the fact that his starts haven't been as good as they were the last couple of years on his KTM, but getting a perfect start in terms of being ahead of his main rivals in this first race. Still trying to find his way around in what are pretty difficult conditions, actually. See the ruts on the face of that jump. You've got to swing a little bit, rider, to hit that jump a little bit straighter now in the background. Hurlings almost out of the seat there as he hits that first double. Both riders neatly over that second double. Very difficult to get over that cleanly. The 2 Red Bull KTMs continue to lead the way. Hurlings from Van Hoorbeek. Nothing in it, really. Still 1.5 seconds. So, for the moment, it's Hurlings' race to lose. In terms of he has to remain focused. He knows that his teammate, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, could apply the pressure and surprise him with an attack at any given moment. If he doesn't get the drive off of a landing on a jump, then it could allow Van Hoorbeek to close up. But at the moment, 20 minutes to go, these 2 guys are leading the way. On board with Jose Boutron, the Digger Racing KTM rider. Suddenly he's dropped from 3rd to 8th in the space of a couple of laps. He's got Harry Koulas just ahead of him on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Going after him again, though. Here's Tommy Searle round the outside of Tixier. These are in 11th and 12th place. Tixier doing his best to fend off Tommy Searle. Searle keeps it a little bit lower. He's going to get the drive on sooner. And Tixier doing everything he can to prevent Tommy Searle from coming around him, looking over both shoulders. And Tommy Searle, though, has the right line coming down here. Tixier can do nothing about it. Tommy Searle goes through. That's Harry Koulas. He's in 7th place now on the Suzuki. Hot conditions up, 23 degrees. Wasn't feeling great the opening 2 rounds, but he managed to put a result together in Bulgaria. So a good start. Definitely needed for this guy, and that's what he's got. He's running there 7th at the moment. 2 seconds down on Joel Roulance, who's now in 6th place. So Roulance has charged through the field from 18th on that opening lap. Jose Boutron, number 17 on that orange KTM. Wow. That is a dodgy corner. It's hard and slick. Not much of a cut for the riders to get into in terms of railing that berm, but even more difficult to get back on the gas because there are a lot of accelerating bumps coming out of that bottom right, left-hand corner. There's Nick Larson, the standing construct rider, under the watchful eye of Luc Picard and the guys there, the Belgian run team. But Larson having a good ride at the moment, down in 9th place. Quite a physical part of the circuit. If you don't get it right, there was Boutron dribbling the last two just to get a better run into the corner instead of being bounced around. But Boutron, who made a great start. Tommy Searle, though, has found a way past Jordi Tixier. He's now in 11th place. About, 3 seconds down on Christophe Charlier. Lapping 2 seconds a lap quicker that time around, so not going to be too far or too long before Tommy Searle maybe takes another position away and breaks inside the top 10. But his main challenger for the championship, Jeffrey Hurlings, is streaking away at the, well, I won't say streaking away, but he's leading the way at the moment. 1.4 seconds clear of his teammate. There is Tommy Searle on the Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. That's the corner he crashed in last year in the second moto, where he was closing in on Hurlings for what would have been an overall Grand Prix victory with 2 race wins, but just 3 or 4 laps to go. He just slipped off in that corner, and that was it. Hurlings got away, and that was all she wrote. But you can see him really pushing. He crashed here in practice yesterday through those deep ruts. Said it was very sketchy through there, but good corner speed. That's Charlier just ahead of him. We said he'd be closing in anytime soon, and he has done. Charlier just at the bottom of your camera shot. 7 points in it between Hurlings and Tommy Searle at the start of the race, so depending on how far up the leaderboard Tommy Searle actually climbs up to, will depend on how far or how much ground he loses to Hurlings. More importantly, his teammate Joel Roulance, who is 6th position, and how far, waiting for him to come over the line now. 3 seconds down on Michael Lieb on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Joel Roulance, Tommy Searle's teammate there, number 100. He is only 2 points down on Tommy Searle. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, who's second in the race, is only 9 points further back. So Tommy Searle could go from 2nd to 3rd, or even 2nd to 4th, depending on how many positions he makes up. Either way, it's certainly going to, Concertina, going to close up. Here's that gap. Jeffrey Hurlings, more importantly, though, for him and his title race, and KTM, of course, that's going to increase if he stays where he is. We're getting ready to go back down to pit lane, as you can see. And Dylan Ferrandis, the Rockstar Energy Bud Racing Kawasaki rider, who's still there in 3rd position, fending off the challenge from number 45, Jake Nichols, is the team we're going to go and speak to. Might be Jackie Vimon. It'll probably be Manola, though. Let's go down. Here's Amy.
Just in the pit lane with the Rockstar Bud Racing team. Dylan's had a great start to this race.
He got a great start. He loves the track. He's in a good shape. We just hope that he can hold on until the end, because he really deserves it.
Thank you, Manola.
Yeah, he does deserve it. And so, too, to these guys here, Jake Nichols and Michael Lieb now in 5th position. So Michael Lieb, who came over from the US at the 11th hour, arrived late Wednesday, left for Bulgaria Thursday, hadn't ridden the bike. Bearing in mind, he was riding a Honda in the US at the time, a 2-year-old Honda in the West Coast Supercross Championship at the start of the year. Obviously, Steve Dixon with no Arno Tonus and no Zach Osborne, his 2 key players. Mel Pocock filling in for Tonus. Michael Lieb found himself getting a phone call from Steve Dixon, and look at him here going after Jake Nichols in 4th place. The first time he rode the bike was practice, first practice on Saturday morning in Bulgaria. The only bit of familiarity that he had was the fact that he'd ridden there before, so that kind of minimized the risk, if you like. But here he is going after 4th position. and Jake Nichols, but he's had time to set the bike up in the time since. Just made a little bit of a mistake down in that bottom corner. We've got 14 minutes plus 2 laps to go. I'm pleased to say, actually, although I'd rather have it in different circumstances, I'm joined here by the Nistan GM Racing team member and teammate to number 45, Jake Nichols here, Glenn Coldenhoff. Glenn, your teammate just going after Dylan Ferrandis, almost getting it wrong. You've just been out looking on the circuit. How difficult are these conditions for the riders at the moment?
This is not normal. The ruts are so deep, and you can see...
Michael Lee just going after Nichols, sorry about that. And takes a position away. So Nichols going down to 5th place now. Yeah, go on, Glenn Coldenhoff, talk about the conditions.
He's pushing hard, especially this part of the track is so difficult. You see struggling all riders.
Jake Nichols fighting back, almost running into the rear wheel of Dylan Ferrandis as he found a way back past the number 170 of Michael Lieb. So this here, a 3-way battle for 3rd position. We've got a yellow flag out here. Where is that ride? Oh, the back end of Michael Lieb's all over the place as he gets himself into Joe Roulance, who finds a way through from nowhere. So Roulance from 6th position takes 5th away from Michael Lieb. And Joe Roulance, the danger man, and having a really good season so far, Glenn Coldenhoff.
Yeah, it is. He's pretty strong. You can see it as well. And he's going for the pass for Jake.
And it looked like there, just before we cut to Samuele Bernardini, who's down in pit lane, that maybe Joe Roulance took another position there and finds himself in 4th place. Indeed, he does. So Jake Nichols now in 5th place. Roulance on a charge. That's Dylan Ferrandis just there ahead of him, number 22. So Roulance looking at another 3rd place finish for the Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki squad. Down the outside of the young Frenchman, over the tabletop here, keeps on the power around the outside and closes the door. Ferrandis tries to fight back. There's a back marker just ahead of them, but Roulance doing a great job getting back on the gas, swinging over to the right-hand side of the racetrack to fend off. But look at that, Michael Lieb coming into play as well. He goes up the inside of Ferrandis. So a good bit of riding there from Michael Lieb. Glenn Coldenhoff, what are your thoughts on the track conditions?
It's really, really difficult. You can see it. They are all making mistakes. They're pushing really hard.
But it's not normal, is it? The ground is hard and slick in some places, like an Italian track always gets, but they put a lot of water down. Yeah. They turn the corners over quite a lot Friday and Saturday. So there's more water, like at the top of this hill in a moment when they turn right. The ruts on the downside here from this corner, just unbelievable yesterday and even now. Just looking at that was a replay of Michael Lieb just getting it wrong. And then coming under pressure from Joe Roulance, but just leaving him enough room to go around the outside. But yeah, a lot of ruts on the circuit, Glenn.
Yeah, it is really. This is not normal. This is, I think, the first year that's like this, you know.
Yeah. Well, we've been coming here now since, 2010, and all the corners down on the bottom end of the circuit were a lot harder, a lot slicker. The final one down there in the bottom there, that left-hander, they put an artificial bank there to maybe bring the riders inside a little bit. It seems to work, but there's still room to go around the outside because it's, slower to come into that inside line because you have to be so perfect, on the approach. But looking at your teammate, Jake Nichols, he's having a good start to the season, isn't he?
Yeah, he takes always a good start, and that's really positive for him. And now he's battling with Ferrandis, and I think he's going to take him.
And Tommy Searle just comes over the line now. Where's he? Still there in 9th place now. Just found a way past Jose Boutron. He's got Nick Larson and Harry Kulas just ahead of him. Well, certainly Nick Larson there, 249, who takes a look over his shoulder to see exactly who it is that's closing in on him. He will know that there are guys behind him maybe wanting to fight with him, but Evan Habe, the Scott Racing Norwegian, not a good day for him. No points on the board for Evan Habe. So Habe, who still yet to score, is he in the championship this year? I think he is. Not going to pick up any more points in this first moto. Standing construct Suzuki rider there, Nick Larson, has about 3 or 4 seconds over Tommy Searle, but again, Tommy Searle quicker last time around and already closing the gap down to the Norwegian on that yellow Suzuki. But Tommy Searle, I don't know if you saw where he made a mistake on the opening lap. Did he go down on the first turn? Or
no, I didn't see it.
Because obviously he didn't come round. He was down outside, like maybe 25th, 26th on that first lap. and obviously has a lot of work to do. This, of course, perfect for Herlings, but Herlings now putting 3 more seconds into the gap between himself and his teammate. That gap now at 4.3. Herlings over the line now. Has it gone out again? Yeah, down to 5.6 now. So Jeremy Van Hoorbeek looking like he's going to settle for that second position, but can he afford to? Because setting the fastest lap previously in for his own lap times, Joel Roulance with a 1:57.8. Still waiting for him to come over the line. That's going to be around about sort of 5-6 seconds, maybe even more. Still waiting for Roulance to come. Okay, yeah, 21 seconds, but it is the fastest lap for Joel Roulance with a 1:56.8. Just over 8 minutes plus 2 to go. We're looking at the 1:28, I think that was, wasn't it? Or of Teo Monticelli maybe, or was it Nick Larson? Just averted my eyes there for a moment, but this guy here we are looking at, Tommy Searle closing in on 2:49. Nick Larson just there ahead of him. Nothing in it between those two. This is going to be for 8th place, and Harry Koulas only 4 seconds further up the track. Harry Koulas lapping last time with a 2-minute 0.8 seconds. Tommy Searle 1:59.8, so only a second quicker, and that's Harry Koulas just disappearing around the corner, already through the wave section, but getting a better drive than Nick Larson. Tommy Searle jumps to the outside. This was a horrible part of the circuit yesterday, wasn't it? Glenn Coldenhoff, the Nissan Gem Racing KTM rider, who's unfortunately injured at the moment, had a crash in Bulgaria a week ago, but Tommy Searle going after Larson for 8th place, goes around the outside. No resistance there from Nick Larson. Tommy Searle clearly the quicker rider in these conditions. But yeah, that downhill wave section, Glenn Coldenhoff, I was watching there yesterday. A lot of ruts through there yesterday.
I didn't see that part yesterday, but yeah, every year is the same. It's really difficult part. It's not easy to make some doubles, and especially this year with the big jump on the hill, it's more difficult.
Well, making it difficult for himself, Tommy Searle. Still fighting his way through. He's now in 8th position. Jeffrey Herlings there, our race leader, number 84 on the Red Bull Factory KTM, has put some distance. Still less than 6 seconds out, but we'll call it 6 seconds. It's 5:9.90. Are you surprised at how well, Glenn Coldenhoff, that Jeffrey Herlings rides the hard pack conditions compared to how well we know he can ride in the sand?
Yeah, sure. He's training pretty hard last winter. He's riding so much on the hard tracks and not anymore so much on the sand tracks. So you can see the result.
Well, Joel Roulance, he's working hard. He's now in 3rd. Well, just under 6 minutes plus 2 to go, and Joel Roulance is there in 3rd. We're getting ready to go talk to Kawasaki. Here's Amy.
Here in the pit lane with Jean-Jacques Louis of Kawasaki. Now, we spoke to Joel earlier on the pre-grid, and he was feeling confident. Each race he's getting stronger and stronger. He's really showing out there how much he can push it up.
Yes, I'm really surprised by. I am really surprised by his speed, because he's so. Every GP made more step and faster, and we are very happy with this.
And we've had an unfortunate start for Tommy in his first race. He's had a crash, but he seems to be finding his way through the pack.
Yes, he had a bad crash at the beginning, but now he returned. But he can be more. He's a fighter, so he can accept this position, but sometimes we have to accept this.
Thank you.
JJ, Jean-Jacques Lassetti, team manager down there at Team Floride, Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, who run Joel Roulance and Tommy Searle. Joel Roulance having the better ride here. There he is, number 34 in 3rd position, but he's about 20-odd seconds down on Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, so barring any mistakes, he will consolidate that 3rd place finish. Michael Lieb just a little bit further back. That's not him in the background. I think he's a few seconds further. Oh, he's gone through, actually. You were pointing at the screen there, Glenn Coldenhoff. So obviously Joel Roulance has opened the door somewhere and let Michael Lieb through. So this obviously good for Lieb, the American, and also good for Steve Dixon, bearing in mind he's 2 riders down at the moment in the championship. So I wonder,
no.
Tommy Searle.
Tommy.
Getting off that bike. Is that a crash? Tommy Searle. Oh, Roulance is off. Suddenly going from bad to worse, and I don't know where that is, but that's a big one for Roulance, judging by how far he had to run back. So suddenly the wheels coming off.
Oh, look, the handlebar.
And bits, yeah, the handlebar, the right side. I'm just trying to work out where that is on the fast downhill. Oh, big crash. Big crash there for Roulance. Oh, goes out spectacularly at third position. And lucky not to do his ankle and his knee there. He was, as he was falling through those ruts in reverse. So two Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders, Tommy Searle and Joel Roulance, go out on the same lap. Joel Roulance from 4th place. And Tommy Searle, well, he was in 8th position, but he's dropping way down the leaderboard. So Jose Butron then moves up a couple of positions. He now finds himself in, what, 8th, 7th place. Harry Koulas will get promoted to 6th place. So Dylan Ferrandis 5th. Jake Nichols will be 4th.
He's back riding.
Well, at least he's back on the bike. But how costly will that be in terms of championship points for both those riders come the end of the season? Jeffrey Hurlings, 2 wins in the Netherlands, 2 seconds in Bulgaria. Tommy Searle, a 2nd and a 3rd, and a 3rd and a win in Bulgaria. And Joel Roulance as well, only 1 time off the podium, that 4th place finish in Second Moto in Bulgaria. And suddenly, not even sure if Joel Roulance is going to be in good shape enough to even finish inside the points, or if the bike is in good state to finish the race. But we'll have to wait and see as they come around next time around. So Charlier then, that's who we're looking at. He was 11th last time around, but of course that will change as they come over the line then. Hurlings, Van Hoorbeek 1st and 2nd, Michael Lieb 3rd, Jake Nichols 4th, Dylan Ferrandis is 5th, Harry Koulas 6th, Butron 7th, Tixier 8th, Nick Narson now is 9th, and Charlier is 10th, and that is a battle for 9th position that Charlier there on the right-hand side on the Monster Energy Yamaha finds himself in and goes past Nick Larson to improve a position, and he goes into 9th place. Just behind them, Joel Roulance, wait for him to come round at the moment, showing 11th on the leaderboard. But Max Anstey is now in 11th. Alex Tonkov 12th. So the 2 Garibaldi Ester Honda riders in 11th and 12th place. Petr Petrov is 13th on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. No Joel Roulance still.
Teammate Jake Nichols make the pass finally on Dylan Ferrandis.
So he's now in 4th place. Yep. And that's Tixier going after Butron. So this is for 7th place. So the Diga Racing KTM there, number 17 of the Spaniard, Jose Butron, who was in 3rd for a couple of laps in the beginning of the race, coming under pressure from Jordi Tixier, who's had to fight pretty hard to get to where he is in the race at the moment, in 8th place. Monticelli, Lupino, they're all down through. Kevin Force, yeah, Joel Roulance. Joel Roulance is still going, look, 18th place, he comes over the line. But he's got no goggles on, he's got a bent bike, and that was a pretty big crash. And that's high speed down there, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, it's the fastest point on the track.
The voice you heard there, Glenn Cardenoff, the Star Jam Racing KTM rider, picked up a shoulder injury. You didn't have a big crash, actually, did you, in the qualifying on the Saturday?
I just made a small mistake in the last lap of the qualifying race. I was in a good position, but yeah, just a small mistake. The track was really hard and slippery because of the rain, and I just make a small crash, but I landed wrong on my elbow and dislocated my shoulder. So yeah, this Monday I got the scan, and hopefully it's good, and I'll be back in Mexico.
Okay, of course, we hope that the scan result is good for you, and you certainly look more comfortable now than when I saw you on Sunday morning in Bulgaria last week, that's for sure. You were having some kind of treatment. What was that treatment?
Yeah, I don't know. I got so much pain. I tried to tape my shoulder, and I got a brace.
Roulance coming out. So the guy who set the fastest lap with a 156.8 is going out of the race, but that was a big crash. Sorry to interrupt there, but Glenn Coldenhoff. 3 laps to go. And Hurlings, Van Hoorbeek now 20 seconds apart. Michael Lieb about 7 seconds, 8 seconds down on Van Hoorbeek in 3rd place. Jake Nichols 4th. He's got 4 seconds on Ferrandis in 5th. Ferrandis, though, will love these conditions here, similar to what he would ride anywhere in France on any day of the week. So certainly the former European MX2 rider looking good here in Fermo. So too, Jordi Tixier gets alongside Jose Butron and swerves across the Spaniard to close the door and then messes it up completely. And Butron really very lucky not to take them both out in that next right-hand turn. What do you think to Tixier as a rider, Glenn Coldenhoff?
Yeah, he made a huge crash in the beginning of the race, and he's already back in 7th, so I think he's doing well.
And obviously a factory KTM rider, former European 125 champion. Do you spend much time with him? Do you speak to him? How do you get on with him?
Not so much. He's just for the 2nd year in the GP, and yeah, so as I can say, he's doing really well.
Well, here's Christophe Charlier going after Butron. In fact, Charlier, yeah, is going after him in 8th place. So Joel Roulance, I think, just pulling off the side of the track, just out of camera shot, but not going down pit lane, just going straight off the track to the right and onto the start straight area. But Michael Lieb, having practically no time on the bike when he arrived from the USA, finds himself looking at his first ever MX2 World Championship podium for Steve Dixon and the Monster Energy Yamaha team. I spoke to Steve yesterday. I said, so if he has a good result this weekend, because this is supposed to be his last GP. And I said, you know, if he has a good ride, is it will he be here for the season, or will he go back for the outdoors? Or, and obviously the dilemma that Steve Dixon will have is, well, he's already paying Arnold Tonis, who's injured. He's paying Zach Osborne, who's injured. He's paying Mel Pocock. And obviously Michael Lieb will probably be on the books as well, even for the short term. But from here, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But certainly Steve Dixon has a small problem, but a good problem with Michael Lieb sitting there in 3rd position, don't you think?
Yeah, I think they do a really good job last year. The bikes are not normal. They are pretty close to the factory KTMs, I think. And he's testing a lot, I heard. And yeah, I'm so sorry for Tonis and Osborne, because they are normally also fighting for the championship as well.
Well, here's Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, 2nd position. It's going to be a Red Bull KTM 1-2. In this first race, his teammate Jeffrey Hurling's already over the line some 20 seconds ago. So he's got himself a nice, comfortable gap that he can sit there and, I won't say relax so much, because you cannot relax around this circuit, can you, Glenn?
No, sure you can't. Sure you can't. But yeah, Van Hoorbeek is looking strong. Hurling's here as well. He's doing his job good.
He'll be more comfortable and more relaxed going into the 2nd race, wouldn't he? Knowing that he's opened that gap between 1st and 2nd place, whether it's Tommy Searle, Joe Rollins. Tell you what will happen, though. Van Hoorbeek will move to 2nd place in the championship, because 7 points back was Tommy Searle. He's going to have no points. Roulance was 9 points off the lead, no points. 11 points behind. Tommy Searle was Jeremy, so he's definitely going to go through. 22 points. He's going to put some mileage into those guys by around about 9 points, I think, clear of Tommy Searle. So at the moment, what wasn't a great day for Red Bull KTM in terms of Hurling's not winning the qualifying race, Kai Rowley not winning the qualifying race in MX1. 12 hours later, the coin has been flipped.
Yeah.
And it's a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment with Hurlings and Van Hoorbeek. And Jeffrey Hurlings looks pretty relaxed on the bike as well in the closing stages of the race. He knows exactly how far behind his teammate is. Works really well with the bike, doesn't he? I just see him there just pulling up on the front end, just to, instead of hitting the holes there really hard, he was just pulling up a little bit just to get over that hole. Is that something that he would pick up from riding in the sand quite a lot, do you think?
Yeah,
or?
Sure. It's just smart racing of him, and that's, you can see it really good in the sand, but yeah, he's doing here as well, and just still motocross. So.
Well, Jeffrey Hurlings then comes past pit lane for the final time. The checkered flag awaits, and it's going to be a victory and 25 points for Jeffrey Hurlings and Red Bull KTM. And he extends his championship lead in the process. His teammate, we wait for him, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Any moment now. And here he comes. So Hurlings really backing off on that final lap. But a good ride for both the KTM riders, especially for Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Got a good start, and he brings it home. That's 22 points on the leaderboard for him. But the ride of the race has to be Michael Lieb on the Monster Energy Yamaha. His first visit to an MX2 podium in the 2 years on and off that he's been in and around Europe. But Jeffrey Hurlings, though, he's going to have a big smile underneath that aero helmet of his, that's for sure. Well, Glenn Koldenoff, thanks for joining me up here in the commentary position for this first MX2 race. Of course, we'll see you hopefully in Mexico in a couple of weeks' time. You looking forward to being there, Mexico and Brazil?
Yeah, sure. I've never been there, so it's going to be tough and a good experience. So, thanks a lot. I'll see you later.
Yeah, no problem. And regards to everybody at Nissan Gem Racing. So, a good win then for Herlings. That was his teammate, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, home in second. So Herlings and there's Stefan Everts, 10-time world champion, of course. He's going to be more than pleased with everything that's going on here. But be interesting to hear what Michael Leib has to say when he gets interviewed at the podium. And of course, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek and Jeffrey Herlings as well, our race winners. But we'll give you an official rundown as soon as we get it. Of course, I have an unofficial version on screen at the moment. But Max Anstey down in 11th. Tonkov was 12th. Petrov was down there in 13th place. And get me a glass of water, quick. That's what that dog's saying. It's pretty warm out there at the moment, almost 25 degrees. But here's the official confirmation. Jeffrey Herlings, we know, was the winner. Not so closely followed by his teammate. So Jeffrey Herlings wins race 1 then from Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, Michael Leib. Jake Nichols a fine 4th for him as well. Dylan Ferrandis in 5th place. Harry Koulas was 6th from Jordi Tixier, Christophe Charlier, Jose Boutron and Nick Larson. Then it was Max Anstey and Alessandro Tonkov, or Alex Tonkov, Petr Petrov, Alex Lupino, Valentin Guillot, Ivo Monticelli, Kevin Fors, Lurk Larrier, Antonio Mancuso and Andrea Chervelin. But the big news from MX2 race 1, no points for Joel Roulants, no points for Tommy Searle. Both riders going out on the same lap with a few laps to go. Overall in the championship, looks like that. Herlings stretches his lead over Van Hoorbeek. Searle drops to 3rd. Roulants drops to 4th. Jake Nichols, well, he moves up to 5th. Anstey drops to 6th. Then Ferrandis and Tixier move a couple of positions as well. Harry Koulas 9th. That's where he was when he came here. Lupino drops to 11th. Tonkov goes up 1.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations for this first victory in Italy. How did you find so far the track, and what are your expectations for the second heat?
Well, the water pretty bad. The first few laps was really slippery, but I just cruised. You know, I knew Tommy and Joel made a crash or something, and I knew Tommy was around 10 or something, and Joel also. So I know for the points was good, and yeah, I just cruised around the moto. You know, I knew Jeremy was behind me, and he's one of my best friends, so I knew he would ride race clear and never take me out. So yeah, I'm pretty solid. You know, got to work a little more on the start. Start was not so good at the moment, and on the end of the motor got some bike problem, but I managed to finish the race. And got to give the Red Bull KTM Racing team, you know, they did so much hard work the last week, so to give me the best bike out there, and I feel I have the best bike again. So got to give a big award to Pit Buyer. You know, he put his head down and made it happen. So for the rest, got to give Red Bull KTM, and thanks for everything.
Thank you and good luck for the next race.
Props to everybody then at KTM from Jeffrey Herlings, who takes his 3rd race win of the season. Not been off the podium yet, 2 seconds of course in Bulgaria. He extends his championship lead at the top of the table over his teammate Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, who just happened to finish in 2nd place in that first race. Let's go and hear from him now.